Hello and welcome to the Wednesday night recap. Preston and Matt, back at you again. Matt, how was your day? How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. How about you, Preston?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Let me make sure I think we're great on sound and all that. My day was good. My day was full, but I'm ready. I came home to the nice surprise that RMUC has, in my opinion, officially kicked off. We've watched some resurrection matches. Um, there are still like 20 resurrection matches we haven't seen, but we're not going to try to keep up with RMUC, especially not the wild card stuff. So tonight we are diving into RMUC bracket games. I'm pumped.
I'm so pumped. We already have our first game is going to be South China University of Technology versus what was the other team, Preston?
3SE. So we saw 3SE come out of the wild card matches. So there's a couple different ways you can qualify for the RoboMasters University Championship National Final Series, which is a mouthful. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
But if you're in like the top of your region, you can just qualify for the finals. That makes sense. It's how that all works. If you're below that, you can qualify for like the wild card rounds. You go into these wild card games, and then the winners of those wild card like bracket make it into the national finals bracket. So 3SE fought their way up out of the wild card matches. Go check it out. We actually covered one of their games. I remember thinking a lot of thoughts about their strategy. I'm excited to see how it goes against South China. Obviously, South China, one of the
Big,
titans of
big
RoboMasters.
school. Yep.
Yeah.
And also the makers of RoboSouls, right?
Yes. Yeah. The blessed creator of Robo Souls. So we'll see if I'm sure all of that time they have definitely spent grinding has played out for them. Right? I mean, because that should be a team. Expectations should be pretty dang high for the creators of Robo Souls. You know
How
what I'm
many
saying?
dart hits? How many dart hits this game are you predicting on seeing? Not just from South China, but also from our other team.
I'm gonna go like for one round.
Yeah, for one round.
I'm gonna go 3.
Three? 50,
Yeah,
50%, or bad math, 8 darts total. So little under 50%.
yeah. I don't think we'll see all 8 darts fly each round. Um, I'm gonna go 3 darts. I think like one from 3SE, maybe two from South China. We'll
Well, I mean,
see.
both of them both have good engineers to be able to actually get the funding to do the darts. So
Yeah,
ideally, we'll be able to see them launch because I don't know. I always like seeing those go and try and make their Hail Mary shot for that 625 damage on the base because that's it seems like a small number to hit, but it's really nice to do whenever you can do that from the safety of your own base.
100%, 100%. All right, are you ready, Matt? I'm sending out one last little
I'm
blast.
so ready.
If you are watching the stream or you're watching the recap of the recap, which is hilarious, make sure you send out those little blasts. Let your friends, let your families know, the people that you care about that care about RoboMasters, let them know what's happening. English commentary, RMUC 2025, 10th anniversary is going. All right, Matt. 2 squads. This is the full field. We've got the stage ready for the walkouts for the teams. This is South China University on the stage.
The RoboMaster Trophy, ripe for the taking for any team competing in this competition. And I mean, the level of competition at this stage is so high. I mean, we already saw in all of the redemption matches just how really technologically impressive most of the teams were, having all their 7 functional bots, having most teams being able to have engineers that are able to cash in the cubes to the variable receptacles. And man, it's gonna be it's gonna be good to watch Scott see what they got this year. I'm excited. We've seen them year after year and seen them all over the place, and they always tear it up wherever they go.
They sure do. Yeah, they sure do. Um, couldn't have said it better myself. Like these first couple matches are going to give us a nice little flavor, a little bit of a peek into the reality of RMUC for this year. Right? We've watched some international matches. We've watched RMNA. We've watched redemption matches. We've had this beautiful lead up two RMUC fully fledged teams. Starting out with South China versus 3SE, one of the top teams in the world versus, one of those, like, I don't know, maybe 31st place, 30th place teams, right? Top 30 maybe from 3SE. But I saw some really impressive strategy. Let's take a look at the bots before we jump into round one. We see a balancing standard red 4 there in the back for South China. See a balancing bot as well on the side of 3SE. RoboSouls notably really gives a lot of confidence to those balancing drivers, right? They're able to jump up and down like crazy.
I'm curious to know if that functionality exists for them in real life.
Oh my gosh, is this Goosebot? Is 3SE Goosebot? I have to keep keep an eye on this red engineer. I believe it extends its neck like an elegant goose so that it fits underneath the bridge, able to go to the center island. If that is the bot that I'm thinking of, it was very, very successful on Monday at just cashing in gold super fast.
The Scott Hero decals of their sponsors all over the place.
This is a really small, streamlined hero. You can see a balancing standard next to it, almost the same size. You can see the scope ready to swivel down from above the VTM on that blue hero. Hero accuracy, one of the biggest delineating factors between teams this year.
Well, and having a magnifying optic on your on your VTM is pretty crazy.
We've seen most teams have them now, but there's a stark difference between the teams that have a good one and the teams that have a bad one, frankly.
Yeah, well, putting something in front of your face that doesn't actually magnify the way you want it to would definitely be a detriment versus a compliment to being able to see at a long range. Such an interesting design with their three-pronged engineer.
You know what? This can't be Goosebot because the blue side is 3SE. Goosebot is still in the wild, but it's very similar design to South China's.
That looks like another balancing standard.
Mm-hmm.
My eyes don't deceive me because that looks like only one wheel that's able to drive.
Yeah, these I mean, it's almost like legs, right? It's like roller skating standards. They have knees, they can jump. Seeing a lot of chain drives this year. Again, now I mean it's the same, different team, different robot, right? But very similar design. We're seeing that double chain drive, 2 balancing wheels on bendable knees, articulatable legs. It's like both sides fielding extremely similar robots. It's going to come down, in my opinion, to hero accuracy and sentry strategy, right? Of course, as well as like team macro and things, but when they're strictly looking at robots.
I'm curious to know if South China's even really going to need to have an offensive push on the outpost if their aerial is able to take it out all the way.
Yeah, top teams this year are primarily using their aerial early to take down outposts. We've also seen quite a few power rune buffs used to accelerate that even further. You can
5 to 10 damage is double.
Yeah, you can get some crazy fast outpost takedowns with the drone combined with the power rune. All right, round 1 of the first match, 10th anniversary RoboMasters. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring on the bots. South China University versus 3SE. All right, looks like a silver start for both bots. Double silvers is an interesting strategy from 3SE. We mostly see those multi-armed engineers go for the gold cubes. Blue standard 3 on the opposite side of the map. This is really bold this early. Taking a nasty trade, losing a lot of health, is going to get caught by red standard 4, who's in a great position and should get first blood.
Well, just how quickly that 3SE engineer got both those silver cubes is pretty impressive.
Look at the drone for 3SE melting the outpost. Scott's outpost falling first in spite of getting first blood. Not to be outdone, outpost to 3SE follows as well. 40 seconds into the game, both outposts dead. Blue standard 3 able to use those jumping legs to get away quickly.
And actually, I think he was using them to be able to actually dodge some projectiles, because
Scut's making a push. Check this out. The aerial giving cover fire, the sentry pushing forward. The humans doing a good job of playing around their robot for a while, but then they leave the sentry there. It doesn't retreat, and it's taken down. The first dart from 3SE flies across the map, barely high. Second dart. Oh, bounces so close. Almost a hit. Reminder that if those darts connect, it will do 625 damage, but they have to hit the correct panel and in the correct orientation.
that looked like it hit the correct panel, but it didn't do the damage.
The sentry for Scut is falling back. Blue Standard 3 trying to chase and get the kill, but Red Standard 3 leveled up early and is in the correct position, able to escort that sentry home and get the kill.
Speaking of levels, that early sentry death from Scott is going to put 3SC at a pretty big level advantage, because the sentries start at level 10.
Yeah, we can see it on Blue Standard 4, right? This level 5 early. It's allowing it to go 1v2 here for a minute. Blue Standard 3 is going to revive in an awkward timing, though. Red still has control of the center island. Getting the level up. Blue Standard 3 is able to make it out of that center island and back to base. The drone for Scut doing some poke damage, trying to see if they can chip that blue sentry down low enough.
Scaring off the engineer from the middle resource island, though.
Look at the number of projectiles purchased by each team's heroes. That is 30 projectiles in the hero hopper of 3SE. Now in the cockpit for the red team drone. Scott doing some chip damage. Blue Standard 3 doesn't look super happy. It's a balancing bot that does not seem to be balancing very well. There we go. Back on his own 2 feet, but the sentry for Scott again in that same position. It's a powerful and bold play, but again, a bit of an overstay from the autonomous bot. Check out Blue Standard 4 pushing up, trying to force the red hero off, doing quite a bit of damage. Able to take the red hero down before he falls. Huge for Scut. At the same time, a dart lands. Wow, Blue Standard 3 not really...
Scut dart hits back to back.
I'm calling it, Matt. I'm calling it. I called 2 for Scut, 1 for 3SE. We'll see how close I get. As Blue Standard 3 tried to come to the rescue of Blue Standard 4, but honestly, Blue Standard 4 was already dead, had already killed the hero, as was his mission. Blue Standard 3 dying too late to the fight. Not really a useful death. Blue team does have tempo, though. They're going to get this opportunity to launch projectiles at Scut's base. Red Standard 3 is closing that timer, though. The drone for Scut starting to do a little bit of chip damage onto that blue hero. And now Scut will roll up with a standard. The blue hero is forced to retreat, only landed 1 projectile on the base.
I think Scott's hero got friendly fired. It got revived while both the 3SE robots, Blue Standard 3 and 4, were both dead. But Scott's hero is dead again.
Look at Scott's drone putting in some work, taking down the engineer, now chunking its way through the sentry. We'll finish that bot off as well. Blue Standard 3 goes down again. Blue Standard 4 getting chased down. Surely will fall. Does. The blue hero doesn't have a lot of time, has no levels, and will get killed in its spot. Scut, the macro here.
Dart is incoming. 1
really
second. Here it
keeping
comes.
them in the lead. These blue standards are overplaying a little bit. Dying when they don't need to on the opposite side of the map, and then getting chased down for a follow-up death on their way back to the base. Here goes Scut. A third dart lands.
Oh my gosh.
South China. Oh my goodness. 3SE launches in return. It's 3 darts so far.
It looked like it hit it, but it didn't.
China. Still a very close round. Neither team really using that hero successfully to deal significant damage to the other team's base. Blue Standard 3 just cannot catch a break. The red team holding the entire map, right? They're keeping the enemy team's side on lockdown. When these bots respawn, they're taken out. Blue Aerial trying to buy some space, doing a good job of forcing back the Red Standard 3. But Blue Standard 3 going to revive in 12 seconds. Red Sentry goes down for, I believe, the 3rd time, really feeding XP over to 3SE. Check out this gold difference, Matt. It's been building the whole game. 3SE now
with 700 extra gold.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not able to do too much with it, though. They just can't leave their base.
That Blue Standard finally allowed back to the resupply zone. Meanwhile, Scut able to land several hero projectiles. 3SE also starting to land hero projectiles. Here comes Red Standard 4 to try to stop the attack. Red Standard 4 chunking through the blue hero, but it'll be Blue Standard 3 backing his boy up. That Red Standard's taken out. The blue hero, half health remaining, starting to land sniper shots. Here comes Red Standard 3. Chunking him
Level
out, able to
10.
kill the blue hero. That's huge. 42 seconds. There's only 70 seconds remaining. Blue standard 3, blue standard 4, red standard 3 in a tight engagement. How does red standard 3 win that? The blue
Might not
standard
be
only
life
needed to
long.
chunk a little bit of health down. Instant revive. They were able to use their gold difference. The blue team, 3SE, buys an instant revive for that hero. You do not have to return to base to be able to fire projectiles after that revive, utilizing that fact now. 10 projectiles remain. Scott still in the lead. Ammo drop coming in. A gold cube crucially for Scott getting cashed. There's 2. There's 3. They need 1 more. There we go. 3SE back in the lead.
They're not going to be able to finish the job on this one unless they get an ammo drop. But Red Standard 3 coming back online. Doesn't look like Red Standard 3 is going to try and push the attack. Ammo drop coming in for the hero.
10 more
Can the
projectiles.
hero
18
hit it?
seconds. If they can land a couple more, if they can land 1 more, maybe 2 more of these sniper positions, I do believe that'll be enough for 3SE. This might be enough already. The red team unable to mount an attack in the last 20 seconds of the game. It was close. The back and forth was insane, but it will be 3SE that takes round 1.
Wow, even with 3 dart hits, Scott's not able to get their infantry and support to be able to get all the way over and do damage to the base. I mean, they were able to find that sniper angle from their own outpost all the way to the other base, but it just was not enough. 3SE was just
Matt,
3SE just had it too much.
that was awesome.
That was awesome.
We saw like so much. There was so much strategy. It really feels like an esport when all the bots play like mechanically well.
Well, and it was such a tight race, and both bases were exposed by the end. I mean, well, actually, no. 3SE's base was not exposed. They didn't drop below 2,000 health with their outpost. But
Taking a look at these stats, 3 darts to 0, but compensated by 11 sniper hits to 2. The gold difference came in clutch for 3SE, 2,800 to 1,600. 1,200 gold really was spent in that last minute, allowing them to auto-revive, send ammo resupplies to 2 of their bots.
40 hero projectiles is a huge difference in terms of the amount of opportunities that you're giving your hero to land those 300 projectile shots. And we saw how impactful that was. And I don't think it even necessarily makes up for the damage in terms of the free damage you get from the 300, but it's 200 extra or 200 damage on base plus the 100 for the sniper shot, totaling 300 per shot. So your bonus isn't as much for the sniper shots, but you're getting more damage because you're following that with a hero shot.
Yeah, giving the MVP to that engineer and blue standard 4. I 100% agree with the engineer. I do think the blue standards, they played aggressively enough that they were able to slow down Scut, right? 3 darts gave them such a huge advantage for South China. But preventing them from landing a lot of hero shots kept 3SE in the game, so applause to the standards for that. But they almost threw a couple times, Matt. There were several deaths of those blue standards that I feel like if South China had capitalized more on the map tempo that they had, I do believe they could have closed that game out before 3SE had a chance to come back.
Yeah, I think there was almost about 2 minutes of time that both their standards were just on Scott's side of the map, dead, not able to move, and then whenever they would be able to move, they just get shot down immediately. And you can't have that. I mean, I guess you can if you're able to play around it like 3SE did, but that's not a mistake that's going to go easily unnoticed by these top level teams.
I agree. I think perhaps South China needs more of a shot caller on their team. Someone to just kind of call out when one of their tertiary bots or systems has excelled, right? There was a moment where the aerial for South China got a double kill.
Yeah.
The aerial is invincible. So when it gets a double kill, it means now the game is a 5v3, right? Push. You have numbers advantage. Shove. Your hero should be landing shots. You should be killing the other team's hero. You should be infiltrating the other team's base, running your hero behind the base and just smacking the top armor panel directly. Something. You need to utilize those moments where your drone or your sentry really pops off, and use those vulnerable bots to your advantage in that time.
Or even following them on a retreat. I mean, we saw South China pull off several different times and didn't just have to go all the way back to their base, sit in their base for a little bit before they could even come back out. And just like you said, following them back there, just hitting their base while it's exposed, while they're not able to put up any resistance. That's point blank shots, right? We're talking about these long range hero shots. 40 projectiles of hero shots is more than enough to take out the base.
Sure. At the same time, I think 3SE had a couple really good moments of strategy, followed by just some low elo play, right? Blue Standard 4 win in, killed the hero, died. That's a 1v1 trade you take all day. But
Yeah.
then Blue Standard 3 was already on his way over to try and help, overstayed, and died for nothing, right? The objective was already gone. Don't
Yeah.
go in there. There's no point.
We'll see how they're going to change it up this time as we're loading into the next match or the next round.
Yeah, we are still in best of threes in 3, 2, 1. Bring on the bots. Southeast University 3SE versus South China.
Same strategy. Two cubes.
3SE again, getting that early gold lead. Just 2 silver cubes right off the bat. It's absolutely huge.
Well, and look at the time difference here. That's like going to be mounting on 10 seconds here as a difference of time.
Look at the drone for 3SE, melting the outpost of South China. They're not using their hero yet. The hero now rolls up, has 10 projectiles remaining.
They've been power ruined. Look, it's doing 10 damage per shot.
Absolutely incredible. The outpost will fall. The hero getting one last shot on it, which is great. I don't know if it gets a level up for that. But look, Blue Standard 3, Blue Standard 4 already down. The sentry for the red team getting those kills and moving down the stairs, but it tips. No, tragedy for South China.
That's going to be a free XP for that's their sentry. That's a level 10 robot that's unable to defend itself. That's free. XP farm on a level 1 robot is one thing, but XP on a level 10 robot is another.
Yeah, the sentry for 3SE will go down, giving some XP over to Scott. But a dart hit for 3SE and a second, I believe. 34.75 remaining.
A minute into this game.
Not to be outdone, South China fires back. The darts landing for both sides of the field. Incredible. The sentry for 3SE has to retreat. Will make it back successfully as a second dart for South China lands, bringing the game back essentially to even. There's about a 300 HP lead difference, but that's only one good hero shot. 30 hero projectiles lined up for 3SE. Check this out. That Blue Standard's in a tough position. You're not actually allowed to be there either.
Might get DQ'd, and that's going to put it somewhat even.
He's going to try and jump out. That he is successful using those legs. The blue hero has now launched 8 projectiles and landed several of them. South China has got to mount a defense if they don't realize that their base will fall behind them without them even noticing. Look at Red Standard 3. That's not a happy standard. The head is spinning with the body. That is not intended gameplay, as South China's aerial will try and defend, will try and stop the hemorrhaging. Good play, I think, by 3SE to stay this long. Able to run all the way out of projectiles, was willing to fall to lower than half health. Red Standard 4 tried to push up, chunked low by the blue sentry.
Lower than half health is certainly what Scott's base is at right now.
I think South China just landed a hero shot onto Blue Standard 3. That Blue Standard was on its way to harass Red Standard 3, who is hopefully not getting car sick.
3SE's sentry doing a very good job of playing the offensive without taking
a great
any
job
return
currently
fire.
Helping defend the hero too. Red Standard 4 coming over to harass the hero, but is already chunked a little bit out by that blue sentry. Blue Standard 3, you know what? This kind of worked out. Somehow living on 5 HP and just melting away at base health. The aerial, the aerial for 3SE now getting involved, able to finish off the base. The round 2, surprising because it wasn't close. Round 1 was so close. Round 2 was a bit of a stomp there by 3SE.
Yeah, 3SE just really capitalized on the exact gameplay elements you were talking about, Preston, is getting that long-range base damage and focusing on objectives, right? Kills matter for XP, but ultimately they're not going to win you the game. And so doing the damage to the base as quickly as they did, I mean, they just locked that hero in. Hero got dialed in, did not flinch. Ariel was shooting at him, did not flinch. But that's also because the hero had a pretty big level advantage. Being level 6 that early is pretty rare for a hero. Usually you see that on a standard where you might have a lot more PvP going on at the beginning of the game, and robots killing each other, being able to get that XP, but usually not on a level 10 bot. But I think it was the flipped bot, the flipped sentry from Scott that the hero was able to just farm a bit of XP on, get their range up, get their accuracy up, and be ready to go.
Taking a peek at the stats, 1750 gold to 705. Again, 3SE just showing excellence with the engineer. 2 darts to 1. Not going to brag too much, but that is exactly the dart split I predicted in this round. 51 hero projectiles from 3SE. They had a lot going for them, Matt. I didn't see the hero targeting the sentry. I might have missed that. But they did use their drone almost exclusively to take the outpost, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And then not only that, but they also had the opportunity, because of some issues from South China, right? Their hero fired 22 uncontested projectiles at the enemy base.
And not only that, that dart hits an extra 600. That's 3 or 4 hero shots technically if you count the 25 as a full round up to 200. But that's you can't leave your base alone like that and just let your base get harassed that long range. All these teams are able to fire from such a far distance. Obviously, the hero going to being the MVP this round. 37% accuracy is pretty crazy.
It's not bad. We saw 60 yesterday. The bar has risen for these heroes. 37% is quite good. Frankly, I think round 1 was so close because South China was able to get those 2 kills onto the blue team standards on the other side of the map, right? So 3SE's tempo was ruined early round 1. Round 2, they were able to maintain that tempo, and boy, were they able to use it. But that's the end of that best of 3. 3SE taking an unexpected win, at least in my mind, from South China in match number 1.
Well, I mean, that just goes to show you, resurrection certainly does not mean dead. They might have been knocked down once, but they're able to spring right back.
And the teams that made it out of those resurrection matches sure have proved their stuff even more, right? Like they obviously did well in the regionals, and then they were able to fight their way up. And now showing that they deserve to be there is 3SE. Moving on to match number 2, Matt. Here we go.
We should get a ton of walkout like this for every match that we got in RMNA.
You know what? I appreciate the fact that they do these walkouts for their finals. There are a lot of matches here, but it is their final bracket. The coaches will shake hands as the 2 teams start to prepare to fight for the glove of power.
I believe it's the China School of Mines in the blue, but I didn't catch the other team.
Look, man, I've got my tiny glove.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're ready. Gonna see which team can hoist it up.
Instead of hands, it's 5 fingers to hoist up the smaller one, right?
It is. It does require only 5 fingers to hoist the smaller glove. We got to keep a mental list of the different strategies we've seen. 3SE, I mean, it just smacked the other team in the face with their wallet, which is always a good strat, right? They were able to buy their way to their win in round 1. Frankly, they had lost round 1 until they were able to auto-revive and buy ammunition. Round 2, I mean, their drone is a menace. And again, 1,000 gold up in like 2 minutes. That game was not very long.
No, it wasn't. And having 1,800 gold at your disposal with 2 minutes gone, you have all the projectiles you could ever need.
Yeah, specifically, they were able to put 30 hero projectiles in that hero right off the bat, right? Like, first back, it bought 30, which is huge.
Well, and you saw how quickly they used them too, and effectively. Like, they knocked that base health down so quick. A base finish in under, 4 minutes?
Yeah. Absolutely wild. We see our next 2 teams grab on to get into the field. Some robots coming in. We got Robo Walker versus Qbot. Robo Walker on the red. I'm loving the split. We got some sweet stats up on the screen describing each team. Matt is our Google translator for today. He'll get plenty of practice. We'll see how many of these we catch. But I have been...
It's the names of who's driving what.
Oh, very cool. Even the bottom ones that say like 1, 2, 7, 5, 11. It's all good.
I think that's how many people are on their teams.
That'd be tiny.
For the specific roles, at least.
For the competition team, probably. I hear you.
Yeah. Because there was some that were like embedded hardware and computer vision.
Very cool. Very cool.
So actually, kind of the same breakdown we had at A&M.
Yeah. How about the 2025, 2024? Does that give you their previous finishes or something?
Let's find out. Yeah,
Very cool.
2025 Eastern Conference top 8.
Nice. All right, taking a look at Qbots robots. Very interesting designs. Look at the. I mean, it might be aesthetic, but they seem to have little dump
Yellow
trucks.
motif.
Check out the #1 drone. I mean, these stats are crazy. Second place record for most damage done per round. 10% accuracy out of a drone is actually quite good.
Well, and two average kills around is crazy. That's average.
Yeah, that's
Average
quite good.
kills is 2, and we saw that just last round.
Their engineers solidly in the top half, so that's 11.4 seconds average
The
for their
gold
caching
miner.
time.
The gold miner from the China School of Mines.
Yes, sir. Average level of difficulty that they select is 2.8. I like that. I like to see a team that sometimes is willing to cash in at level 2. Sometimes you need that. Sometimes you're having a struggle, right? Maybe your robot's not performing well, or you don't have the time to try and precisely get that last one.
Well, and some points are better than no points, right? I mean, in the
Absolutely.
economy-based game where you need gold to purchase projectiles to continue fighting the match, anything's better than nothing if you at least have the facilities to get something.
The drone for Qbot looks very interesting. It looks very rectangular rather than the square shape that we typically see from bots. We'll see if that's just the angle once it takes off and starts flying around. Small technical timeout.
Nothing too out of the ordinary for sure.
This is my first time seeing both of these teams, so I'm interested to see more about their bots once the game starts, or if we get zoomed in views. Here we go. Looking at the sentry for Qbot. I think those I think those dump truck, those yellow beds are just aesthetic for the school. You can see the student there flashing some last minute code. We've got Omni wheel drives on the sentry, Mechnum on the engineer next to it. Pretty typical, pretty standard.
Yep. Having 2 different drivetrains is something that you got to watch out for in code. As
And these teams are running at least 3. Pretty much all the teams.
Well,
right?
yeah, because they got the self-balancing as well.
Yeah. That's one of those advantages of being a larger and longer living team, right? If you have good documentation, you're able to keep code bases alive.
That Sentry actually kind of looks a little bit like VT's in terms of having the LiDAR mounted up top.
Yeah, hopefully that means like VT that it doesn't need to scan 360. Unless there's another barrel behind that large tower, it will be difficult for this Sentry to be able to sense robots in all directions, right? It's not doing the typical 360 scan that we see from Sentry bots.
Yeah, and I think actually those are ports for ammo, for reloading the hopper. Otherwise, I don't see how else you'd be able to reload the hopper with it being at the bottom of the Sentry, seeing how it's a bottom fed.
Could be.
I guess we'll have to watch closely whenever we're at the intermission between matches when they're filling it up.
Yeah, I do like.
I do like the motif though. It looks really nice.
It does,
and certainly fits the school.
I also really like the tall sentries this year. We're seeing several of them. Being able to see over the curb of the center island is very important. It allows you to be offensive without having as much or as smooth self-driving.
Yeah, well, and having a high-mounted LiDAR as well helps you identify things farther away as opposed to what's just closer to your robot.
I was about to try and skip some technical timeout. Oh, man, they're faking me out, Matt. I went to 12 seconds and then it disappeared. There we go. Bring on the bots. RoboWalker in the red, Qbot in the blue. RoboWalker's engineer able to make it through the tunnel, allowing them faster access to the gold cubes. Qbot going to start on the silver.
Double silver, as we saw with 3SE.
Blue Standard 3 jumping up to the center island. I don't know if that's where he wants to be, though, as Red Sentry gets behind him. Red Standard gets on the front, and they're able to take that Blue Standard down. Power Rune coming across for Robo Walker. They're pushing. Blue side of the base, the Red Sentry, absolute menace getting into a battle. Red Sentry versus Blue Sentry. The Blue Sentry is backed up by his standards, able to chase that Red Sentry off. No way does he make it out. The Red Sentry with an absolute just by the skin of his teeth, able to slip away. Blue Standard also able to make it back to that resupply zone. Red Standard 3 coming in to harass the hero, able to take the hero down. But his own sentry is body blocking the tunnel. His escape route is blocked. Red Standard 4 here to back him up. Meanwhile, Robo Walker's hero able to launch several projectiles.
Not able to connect any, it looks like. Maybe one.
Yeah, they landed one sniper shot position hero projectile.
They were firing for quite a while during that entire little brawl that was going on in the Cubot base on the blue side.
That sentry for Robo Walker still sitting at about 25 health. Unfortunately for Cubot, no one has noticed. But, it's still out of commission, right? You don't get the XP, but that sentry is just actively trying to retreat the whole time in the cockpit of Robo Walker's aerial. You can see them taking some pot shots. The sentry for Cubot falling extremely low.
Economy's even right now.
Yeah, as you've called out, Robo Walker really struggling to land hero projectiles. They go through another full magazine as we get a little skirmish between Red Standard 4 and Blue Standard 4. Red Standard 4 falling quickly, balancing bot, though, trading back nicely and able to force the Blue Standard 4 away. Red Standard 4 going to try to push the issue. Retreating as a team is smart. Red Standard 4, Red Standard 3. I was about to say retreating together. There we go. Taking different paths, but getting to the same place as the outpost for Robo Walker will finally fall.
Those aerials playing a huge important role of just completely being able to take out that outpost
Blue
on
Standard
both teams.
4, I believe, has found the red team sentry.
60-second power rune.
Heroes now lined up on opposite sides of the map, starting to take shots at their opponent's bases. Robo Walker landing a couple.
One.
There we go. He's got it dialed in.
3,
Those shots are hitting. There's 3
4.
in a row. I've caster cursed him as soon as I pointed out that they were hitting consistently.
5.
This is good. These are all sniper position shots, so they're packing an extra punch. Blue Standard 3 and 4, though, ganging up on that red hero, should be able to secure the kill. They do. Moving on, Red Standard 3 trying to defend, trading, but it's a 2v1. The Blue Standard's able to retreat. Blue Standard 3 able to jump up using those legs, getting away extra quick.
Cubot's hero in position to try and take back the lead. Not enough projectiles to do so, but they can at least start working towards it. It looks like they're going to be pretty successful at that.
It's the drone from Cubot that finally finishes off that stuck sentry.
Oh, the pit of death.
Oh, that's okay. He's got
Not
legs.
for a balancing standard. He can jump. And he's out.
Red Standard 4 able to navigate the map in ways that I don't even think the creators of the map anticipated. Blue Standard 3, Red Standard 4 in a skirmish. Here comes Red Standard 3, though. Backing it up. Look at this escort. I mean, the macro is looking so clean, Matt. That blue hero moving back to the sniper position, escorted by Blue Standard 4. Red Standard 3 going to try to force the issue. Comes to attack the hero, is immediately met by a standard. At the same time, Red Standard 4, able to stand up on his hind legs and shoot down, taking out the blue hero. These two Red Standards working in tandem. The Blue Standards were in the right place, but were unable to stop the attack.
Red Standard 4 ran into Red Standard 3 and I think might have suffered a physical hit. Looking like he's trying to get back on his feet, and there he goes.
Robo Walker absolutely walked in their aim. They have brought the base down to 334 HP, remaining 34, and that's the game. Robo Walker take round 1.
Cubot did not really even have a chance to get out of their base. They were taking some of those shots from their hero sniper position, but not really able to get past the center point. Their engineer would go up there unsupported and just fell every time.
Yeah, it was a really well played match from Robo Walker. They played so aggressively with their standards. They really, both teams utilized the balancing bot advantages very well.
Yeah.
We saw them taking those super shortcuts of jumping up curbs. And we saw them, getting unstuck from underneath the ramp. We saw the red team Robo Walkers balancing bots, standing up on those hind legs, firing down at the hero from a position that is very difficult for the opposite team's standards to defend. It's tough. I don't know what I'm trying to think of what Cubot could have done better, right? Because their standards were accompanying their hero. They were trying to defend. This might be an instance of the best offense. The best defense is a good offense, because 16 sniper hero shots, you can't let that happen. Like
No,
even
you
if your
can't.
defense was more successful and Cubot was able to protect their hero, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, well, in order to defend that, you have to go to the other side of the map. You have
Exactly.
to go to the other side of the map. You have to play aggressive. And so, as RoboWalker was just constantly in Cubot's base, they just didn't leave them much room to have space to shoot.
Take a
I mean,
look at some of
once
the
again, right?
highlights.
Look at the win versus the loss. 42 millimeter projectiles. 40 difference in the amount of projectiles they fired.
Yeah, and remember that RoboWalker did that basically all without a sentry. Their sentry got stuck early. Some crazy early trades and kills. MVP Red Standard 3. Sure, give it to him. I'm not mad at it. Right? The standards caused so much chaos that their hero had all the time in the world.
Yeah.
Matt,
Well, and no pressure, like at all,
yes.
right? We were talking about pressure as kind of a commodity, and stress, driver stress, as a commodity that's not really quantified, but definitely felt.
Yeah.
And yeah, no stress at all. A day on the beach for RoboWalker's hero.
Matt, I want to draw an analogy and tell me what you think of this. It felt a little bit like watching someone proxy in League of Legends. So
Yeah.
in League, you're supposed to meet in the middle of the map and you fight each other. But sometimes you play against these psychopaths that just don't fight you in the middle. They go on your side of the base and just kill the minions where they're not supposed to be. All right, it's called proxying if you're not privy to it. And that feels like what RoboWalker did. Instead of meeting in the middle and having their standards fight standards and letting the heroes do their thing, they just kept their standards on the other side of the map, right? And it made Cubot dizzy. Cubot wasn't sure what to do. They were like, oh, the standards are here. We have to fight them, right? But if you send your whole team to fight that one proxying member every time, sure, you get a bunch of kills. But you lose the other side of the map. The other side of the map just walks into your base. And I
And not
felt
to
like that's what
mention,
happened.
unlike League, where you have technically an unlimited supply of resources in terms of mana to be able to get the kills, you don't have that in RoboMaster. You have to spend money on projectiles, and the
Yeah.
projectiles that you shoot defending are projectiles that you're not using to attack offensively. And it seems like RoboWalker has this written down on paper for all the drivers up above their monitors, because it's just attack, attack, attack.
100%. Having a second technical timeout, but it is round 1-0 in favor of RoboWalker in this best of 3 as the bases close and we prepare for round 2.
It looked like Qbot had some issues with their sentry. After it retreated back into the base's spawn area, it wasn't really moving much. The entire rest of the match, at least from what I could tell.
Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring on the bots. RoboWalker versus Qbot. All right, Matt, let's see if they had the same analysis that we did. We'll see how the teams decide to change things up for round 2.
Outpost looking like decoration as RoboWalker just melts through it 20 seconds into the match.
Yeah, it's phenomenal what some of these drones are able to do. It's a lot of CV. The snapping they get is crazy. The power rune coming across for RoboWalker. Look at the trade happening at the top. It's not what you want during a power rune. You don't want to take that fight. It's the red team able to get that kill onto the blue standard now fighting the sentry. The sentry doesn't know you have the power rune. Oh no, the poor computer. Red standard 4 hopping down from the from that panel. Still 20 seconds left on the buff.
Ooh, barely able to get out. Looks like the sentry might be able to autonomously retreat, but it's going to be back into 2 of RoboWalker's robots.
I believe Red Standard 4 was running into the Red Standard 3 on purpose, trying to flip it back over. RoboWalker last time was able to win the game without their sentry. Let's see if they can do so without one of their
Hearts
standards.
got knocked off, I think. Or maybe that's just a shadow.
Both teams starting to trade. 100 damage dealt to the base of RoboWalker. Dart flies across, barely misses for Qbot. Qbot needs to win this round. One of the standards is flipped. You have a permanent numbers advantage and free XP as they kill Red Standard 3 again. Now both standards dead for Robo Walker. Hero projectiles starting to land.
Cubot pressing the offensive, knocking Robo Walker's hero out of alignment. Blue Standard 3 doing a pretty good job of that.
Drone, though. Look at the drone for Robo Walker, absolutely melting Blue Standard 3. Blue Standard 3 trying to escape, bumps into the wall. Might make it out. Red Standard 4 doing the same thing on the other side of the map, chased down by Blue Standard 4.
Battle of the computers. Sentry versus Sentry. Robo Walker's is at half health. Pretty big disadvantage.
Yeah, but Cubot's only got 40 projectiles left, 30 projectiles left.
Oh.
Hey, the Robo Walker's Sentry makes it through that pinch point this time. The red hero tries to go to the snipe position, is immediately met by Cubot's Blue Standard 4, who chunks that hero within an inch of his life.
Two robots right next to each other.
Cubot's standard falls. Such a tragedy. That numbers advantage now gone. Robo Walker.
Ooh, dart connecting for Robo Walker.
A dart and pulls ahead in round 2.
No longer with the permanent numbers advantage. It's a pretty big disadvantage for Cubot to be back on even footing with Robo Walker.
Yeah, Robo Walker 21 hero projectiles in the hopper, 17 for Cubot.
In position,
a lot of opportunity.
The Sentry's actually guarding the hero position from standards that could be approaching it from the high ground.
Check out Red Standard 4 on the opposite side of the base, again using that offense as their best defense, firing a lot of projectiles, actually getting a remote projectile drop. The hero is unattended, unprotected, and now Red Standard 4 will melt the blue hero, Cubot, in a really bad spot now as their only big damage dealer. I mean, until those panels fall, primarily their only damage dealer taken out for the objective.
Looks like they're going to be running into the Sentry just body blocked the standard for Cubot, not able to get back to the base to heal. I think that's going to blow the lead wide open for Robo Walker.
The red team able to grab another remote ammo deposition. Red Standard 4 does not have to retreat. Looks like he might choose to anyway. Reminder that there are physical projectiles and virtual projectiles, so sometimes even though you can buy virtual projectiles, they might need to retreat for physical ones. Look at this. Red Standard 4 knows his job, is going back to where that blue hero is one more time, this time chased by Blue Standard 4, but it's not enough. Red Standard 4 able to get that kill onto the blue hero again. Cubot's hero is not allowed to play the game, Matt. Gray
watching
that
the drone, watching that dart hopper articulate was so cool.
Look at that hero. Look at the hero for Robo Walker. That's it. That's the whole game.
All they needed was an airdrop, and they got it.
My word. MVP better be that red Standard 4. Red Standard 4 MVP or I quit, Matt. Oh my goodness. I mean,
securing the offensive there was exactly what Red Standard 4 needed to do, and Robo Walker did a great job of doing that. And like you said, the best defense, good offense. And in this case, not even good, way beyond good to great, or I would even say possibly perfect if you didn't flip one of your robots.
That's a pretty big oof. Like, if both teams hadn't have done it, it would have been very detrimental for one team. But, playing a 4v4 instead of a 5v5 or a 6v6 instead of a 7v7, not a big deal. Taking a look at the stats from that round, 7 kills to 3, 9,000 to 5,000 damage. Again, to your point, 50 hero projectiles to 17.
I was gonna say it before you even had to say it again, but yep, that's the name of the game. And you saw how many shots it took them to get locked in on actually connecting those shots, and they just take the time. They, like you said, they have all the time in the world. And actually, one of the things that I wanted to point out was their aerial was hovering right above their hero, and their sentry was also on the high ground right above their hero, both fully supplied with ammo, ready to go, ready to defend that hero.
There's one kill by the blue Red Standard 4. Come on, give me the rest of the highlights. All right.
But not being able to contest that. There you go. There's your Red Standard 4.
I don't have to quit. There we go.
Don't have to quit.
Red Standard 4, 21% accuracy is quite good for a standard. 212 KDA, but those are all really high value kills. Those were kills on the blue team's hero. And then the engineer should not be overlooked. 2,300 gold or something like that, to like 1,100 gold for their opponent. Robo Walker had the gold to back it up, had everything they needed, to just dominate that second round, looking really, really good.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, you got another one? You ready for
I
another one?
absolutely got another one.
Heck
He's got me
yeah.
fired up.
So we're going to be watching Team Nautilus, who is a team we've seen recently this week, versus WMJ, who is a team we watched in the regionals matches. So if you've been following Rep closely, you have seen both of these teams before. Excited to see how they play out in a full 7v7, right? We're done with the 6v6 resurrection match format. We're done with the regional format. We are in full RMUC swing.
That we are. And these are some RMUC quality matches, man. Holy cow. Base is falling on, I think, every single match. I don't think we've had a match run to time.
Yeah, these are teams that are great at closing it out. During regionals, it was pretty common that we would say that teams were great at the first, like, 1,500 base damage, but struggled to finish off their opponent. Which has hilarious similarities to esports, Matt.
Yep.
Like,
You
as
can't get Baron and finish the game, you're gonna lose because somebody's gonna scale and then they're gonna flip the dice on you, and that's it.
I'm a below average esports enjoyer. I'm a hard stuck silver kind of guy, and I understand that what I'm bad at in the game is closing the game out. If I can get a good lead, I don't know what to do with it. So it's been really neat to kind of see the progression of teams. Right? Hopefully the teams that are hanging out with us watching Rep this year, prepping to go to China next year and compete, or maybe they're from a Chinese regional or other foreign regional as well, thinking about how they can close those games out, because that does seem to be the large difference. How they accomplish it, right? There's a lot of different ways, but you got to pick one. You got to find one that fits your team strat and your robot builds and stick with it.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like most of these robot builds, I mean, most of the strategy, it kind of just comes down to the robot build of the hero. Having a super accurate hero that as soon as you get the trajectory just right, you just leave it there and just keep going. And then you airdrop ammo, keep going. But you can only airdrop ammo if you have an engineer to give you the supplies.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a twofold attack plan, at least in the way that I see it. And if you have that aerial able to just completely melt the outpost like it's a JPEG on a screen, there's nothing else you can do for that. You just press delete and it's gone.
It's true. It'll buy you some extra gold, right? It'll buy you some extra time, some physical projectiles. Seeing these teams enter the map now. Team Nautilus, I believe, in the red. WMJ, I believe, in the blue. Matt, one of the things you said about the heroes is the ability to keep that pitch where it is when you land shots. I mentioned it once or twice before, but one of the things I've seen more common this year is like lead screws on the back of the neck of the hero for a slower pitch articulation, but a much more stable articulation.
Yeah. And not only, the stability of that is definitely not to be it's open source team citation data is what the translation is saying. So you get citation reports and other open source availability for other teams in the community to be able to benefit from, which is probably how so many teams adopted the balancing standards so quickly. A lot of teams were having the
knee joints,
and just having the same kind of theory be passed from team to team, and then how that theory is interpreted is kind of just up to them.
Taking a look at WMJ's bots. Look at this engineer. Is that a net? Is that to block projectiles, Matt?
I think it could be.
I believe we've got to keep an eye on that and see if this engineer uses its height advantage while on the center island to stop the enemy team hero from making those long sniper shots.
Well, that would certainly be a way of doing that while being somewhat invulnerable, as long as there's not the occupying standards on the high ground with you. But if you're able to just kind of put that fly swatter up and deny enemy projectiles from passing, that's a pretty big advantage. Or if you're able to sit in front of your own base and get up high enough to do that, that could also be a way to do it. I don't know if the height works out for that though.
Love the compact design of the red engineer. It's going to allow it to go through those tunnels It's just really impressive engineering to be able to fold up that tight and that small. A swerve-driven engineer on the blue side, WMJ's engineer. Look at that, first place, and top 20 for average cubes per game. 9.1 seconds is third place for the time it takes. Taking a look at the catcher, the net, the fly swatter, whatever we want to call it.
We got to know what it does, and then we can better identify it.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes for him, Matt. That's an interesting strategy. I'm surprised that it's legal, but I can't think of any reason that it wouldn't be.
It's a sail, Preston. You see, it's a solar sail. That's actually how their drivetrain works. They get power from the lights in the stadium to move. We're just not thinking on their level. That's why it's in the rules.
Round 1 of Nautilus versus WMJ.
I thought the darts would be a little bit more impactful, Preston. I know we saw a couple last game, and 1,200 damage is not to be understated, and 600 damage, even if you get one hit off, is not to be understated, but I thought it was going to be a bit more than that.
Yeah, I think the reason you're not feeling the impact of the darts yet is because most teams finish off the base using their heroes anyway. I think if there were more teams rushing the base's lower armor panels, those darts would be impactful in helping get that physical barrier down quicker.
Yeah.
A bit of a different start here. Nautilus using their hero to take down the outpost, using their drone to poke at the sentry and standards on the center island.
They had that outpost locked in.
That was really impressive hero accuracy. WMJ now starting on their outpost, but so slow to the uptake that Red Standard 4 is already harassing. Red Standard 4 might die for this, though, Matt. Blue Standard 4 on the backside. The hero actually launching some projectiles as well.
Red Standard 4 is locked in enemy territory. Now in the fountain. Darts coming across, not connecting from Nautilus.
WMJ, a little bit of a misplay. You can't, that needs to be illegal. You're not allowed to come over as a level 1 standard and move across the entire map. Red Standard 3 does a good job of creating a route for his teammate to get back. Now,
just like
Aerial and Red Standard 3 playing together, chunking through the sentry of WMJ. That sentry falling extremely low, mostly to the Aerial. Red Standard 3 does a good job, heads up play, moving over to the blue hero, forcing the hero back. The outpost for Team Nautilus still above half health. Great defense from Nautilus standards early.
Ooh, one WMJ robot has been turned over coming off that high road. Hate to see it.
That's going to be really tough for them. They're already playing from a very severe disadvantage. Their Aerial, really strong. Doing a great job of harassing.
Aerial MVP?
I don't know about that. Look at the hero 2 minutes in. We've already exposed the last 2,000 HP of the base.
I think it's going to be a pretty close cut because it's kind of, once again, right, it's a mixed bag of strategy where you have the Aerial that's allowing the hero to make those shots with a lot less stress.
The WMJ hero should not be missing these shots. Those armor panels are no longer spinning. You need to be hitting these. There we go. One more should do it, and Team Nautilus's outpost will go down, surely. There's 27 hero projectiles left, but Red Standard 4 is not going to let them use them. The hero is taken out. Nautilus saves their outpost with 100 HP remaining, and there it will stay.
The base, Preston, they forgot about the base. They tried to race him on the outpost.
Team Nautilus. Holy, Matt.
You got to have your priorities straight. They didn't even see it coming.
I don't really know what they should have done about it.
I mean, they had probably about, 20 seconds to
hero
react to that before
fantastic.
the hero started just completely taking it out after the first hit. That's crazy.
Everything on that worked so well. The Nautilus hero accuracy was insane. I'm ready to see the percentage. I'm going to guess it's over 40%.
Yeah, I'm saying I'd say 60.
I don't know about 60. I'll say 53.
I'd say 60.
I'll say 53. Let's take a peek at the stats. That'll give us some guidance.
That's the hero projectiles, Preston. It's the hero meta.
Yeah. I mean, 1,700 gold. The gold was pretty much even, but The hero accuracy was insane for Team Nautilus.
Look at the damage difference, though.
So big.
7,800 to 1,800, 6,000 damage difference.
Yeah, early game, these hero projectiles on that outpost were so clean. The aerial for Team
See how much it's
Nautilus.
pushing it off, though. Like I feel like the aerial has to be given a decent amount of credit for this round because they provide they just put the umbrella up. They get the folding chair.
66%.
I told you.
Whoa. New record
44
holder,
shots
Team
fired.
Nautilus. Matt, make a note. I wish I don't have my whiteboard behind me anymore, but 66% Team Nautilus, the current leader. Accuracy. I mean, look, their average is 40.7. This was an exceptional round from them. It was the exception, not the rule.
Sure, but I think it has something to do with the fact that that aerial could shove so effectively. They gave him so much room to breathe that the second, like we're saying with the being able to just get that locked in and just stay there, and he's not having to move. As soon as that gets locked in, they're just going, and they don't stop until that base drops.
WMJ, I believe their team captain here on the side. Taking a look at that WMJ sentry. They did have one robot go over the edge, right? So that's a really fast scan rate. Holy smokes.
I'm surprised the LiDAR or the CV is able to make sense of what's in front of it.
Yeah.
Must have a pretty fast refresh rate.
Hey. Knight in Matt Armor says they don't stop until that base drops. That is kind of fire. It's a good line. It is true, though. I mean, that hero, like you're saying, Matt, the aerial combined with the standards for Nautilus really enabled the hero on their team to just kind of play a little 3-point shootout game all by himself. I don't think a blue bot ever came onto the red side of the map.
Yeah, and just like you're saying, making the allegory to basketball, it's like uncontested threes are substantially easier to hit than whenever you have somebody jumping in your face, somebody just on top of you trying to get you to miss, right? It's a big difference. And I think I don't know, man, these heroes that are able to just sit back on the beach with the folding chair, the umbrella, and the sunglasses, and then their engineer brings them a pina colada just in the form of that ammo drop coming in. Like, these drivers got to be stress-free sometimes, the way that these teams are able to play around their hero.
And it is a well-designed game at this point. 10 years in, DJI has to be applauded for the tuning they've put into the game side of this, right? Yeah. It feels the way like an Overwatch or a League game feels when you have good tanks, when you have good peel. That damage dealer is able to just kind of chill. They're just right-clicking. Like, it's not that tough. 3, 2, 1. Round 2. Nautilus versus WMJ. Nautilus absolutely dominating round 1. Let's see what WMJ can do in round 2 to try to turn it around. Oh, I forgot about the fly swatter. Where was the fly swatter, Matt?
Their engineer was in their base most of the time. It wasn't able to come up onto this middle island besides at the beginning.
Here we go. The hero not having nearly as much success, frankly, from Nautilus onto the outpost. Still looking good, but I mean that first round was just absolutely absurd. Check out the drone from WMJ actually not firing at the outpost, but instead choosing to shoot at that red hero, applying a little bit of pressure.
Not going to be enough to save their outpost, though.
Yeah, and there is a crucial difference between the hero and drone being able to finish off the outpost in one hero magazine versus 2. Right? When this hero goes and resupplies now, the the Nautilus hero can immediately start focusing on the enemy team base.
Those darts are close.
There's that drone you were calling out last game, Matt. The aerial for Nautilus gets a solo kill on a blue standard 3.
Can they get a second? No, but all 4 of those darts hit the base.
Red standard 3, red standard 4 on the opposite side of the field. They both should make it out alive, already buying a lot of space for their team.
Space seems to be the entire mantra of the side of WMJ. There's not really many robots outside of their starting zone right now. Engineer making a go at it, but without any kind of backup to support him. We'll see if he's able to actually get that
human ward.
cube.
Red standard 3 only has 17 projectiles, was just standing for vision. Is going to cycle out, I believe, with the red standard 4 who's defending the hero. Look!
There's the net! It's the net!
It's not going to work. The standards are able to kill that engineer. That's tough. It's a tough
It looked like
position
the
to be in
engineers'
on
armor
Red Standard
panels
4
were
with that
vulnerable.
level up is able to get a double kill against Blue Standard 3.
Instant revive, I think, coming across for Blue Standard 3. Ooh, made
34
the jump.
hero projectiles. Oh no, but Red Standard 3 is going to put them all to waste. That blue hero is body blocked from retreating and taken down by Red Standard 3.
Well, you know, one thing that's good about the net is that it doesn't require the engineer to actually be alive.
That's
It
true.
can still defend while dead. So that's one thing to note about it. Because it did
Uh-oh.
force the hero to move out of the sniper position. And there's a fall.
WMJ Standard 4 has flipped on the ramp to the defensive position. Team Nautilus in a really strong position once again. 4 minutes remaining in round 2. Red Standard 4 waiting for this blue bot to revive. Just waiting to spawn kill Blue Standard 3. It'll be up in 4 seconds.
And you know, Preston, I think one of the 2 legs up
I
that a
don't know
balancing
that they're actually
standard
going to have
has.
time to get this spawn kill, Matt. 16 hero
I don't even
projectiles
think they will.
remaining.
It's enough to finish the job. They only need 10 if they're able to connect all of them. Still
They're
enough
missing
as
a
soon as they can
fair
get it
amount
locked
right
in.
now.
Oh, here it is. Are they locked in? Oh, the
The
engineer!
net. The net is
All about the nets,
ineffective.
baby.
The net is not working at all.
And they're gone. Well, it did save them from losing right there. The hero was locked in, had enough shots to do it.
The aerial and Red Standard 4 and Red Standard 3 are all attacking the lower armor panels. Purchased projectiles coming in through virtual airdrops. And it will be Team Nautilus in a dominant 2-0 match. Just with crazy strategies. Matt, that's going to be a team to watch throughout the competition. Those are accuracy numbers and team strategy and movement that are going to be difficult for teams to counteract.
Yeah, Preston, this entire competition is a competition to watch. Every single match we've seen has been just so impressive on both sides for being able to have the
so far,
physicality of
right?
it.
We've only seen 6 teams today.
Sure, but at the same
so
time,
far Nautilus is my favorite.
I would agree with you. I think
3SC looked really good.
3SE, yeah. 3SE I think is a top contender for that. They hit more darts, and that actually could end up being the difference between these top teams.
Yeah, it could be.
But the strategy is not to be undersold, right? Because just like you said, they called an audible. For other matches that we were watching in the Resurrections, you know, if teams weren't able to get the hero shots all the way locked out, they would just kind of let it go and be like, oh, we'll get the hero back and get some shots in the base, and we'll do that later. But the Nautilus did not care about later. They said, no, it's happening now. We don't have the hero shots. You might have put that little pesky net up and blocked just enough shots to save you from the hero, but that's not going to save you from the rest of the team.
Yeah, I mean, it was a neat moment of innovation for WMJ to use the net. Very cool. But the communication from the side of Team Nautilus is just phenomenal. They're able to use their bots together. The Red Standard, the Red Standard 3, Red Standard 4 acting together. The aerial also helping. 46% accuracy from that hero. Still phenomenal. Anything over 40% is really quite good this year.
But especially considering that 90% of the shots that these heroes are taking are at the base from the sniper position. That's a very, very long way to shoot.
Congratulations, Team Nautilus. Good 2-0.
Yeah. Very good 2-0. That seems to kind of be the motif so far, though, is that as soon as a team kind of gets a leg up, they're able to just keep going with it. But we saw a couple resurrection matches that had one round come, or at least taken it to 3 rounds.
Matt, we are diving back in. We've got Team Bug versus Team RoboPilot. We've seen both of these teams in their regionals. They looked pretty good.
Yeah, well, I mean, so far every team's looked good that we've got to watch. So I'm excited to see what they bring to the table.
So Robot Pilots, I took some notes on some of the teams from the top ends of their region. For Robot Pilots, I put that they had good hero hits on their outposts. They've got balancing standards. They've got good sentry aim, but kind of poor sentry like damage. Like it can fire, but it's not crazy aggressive. It's not going 1v3.
Suppression.
WMJ I had down as smothered. Was was the cue I left for them, which kind of felt similar again, right? They're a
Yeah.
team that kind of got snuffed out there. Um,
Well, whenever you're going up against a team that's able to just press the attack so well both times, there's not really much you're able to do about it.
yeah, I agree. All right, so Robot Pilot is coming from the top 4 in their region. It'll be interesting to see how the actual finals goes for them as they face off against Team Bug. Looking at Bug robots now. They look pretty traditional, right? We've got a mix of different drivetrain systems. It's a large Sentry. These are things that, I mean, sound kind of basic, but are quite important. We see a couple different cameras surrounding their Sentry, going to give them better navigation, right? More options for navigation code. Perhaps they will do a kind of a VT method where the cameras give them 360 view without having to sweep or scan, excuse me.
Yeah, and as we saw, the height advantage was actually pretty important because it was the Sentry that was able to take the engineer out that was on the high ground when the hero was trying to get shots off from Nautilus. And that height advantage is not to be underestimated, is all I'm saying, especially for the autonomous robot that can ideally be able to see, like you said, 360 without having to turn.
On the other side of the field, Robot Pilots.
22 technical reports submitted for open source.
Heck yeah. There are cash prizes not only for finishing well in the finals, but there are also cash prizes for those open source awards. So a lot of teams will put a lot of effort helping fund their teams by winning open source information awards.
Tiny hero.
Yeah, really well designed. This is a really clean looking hero. Angled flywheels. You got flywheels at 45, which is interesting. Probably 3 flywheels if I had to guess.
Yeah, I think that 3 flywheel setup just allows you to be able to rapid fire a lot more consistently as opposed to the 2, because obviously you just have an extra third of momentum that can be maintained.
51% accuracy. I mean, I did have in my notes that good hero hits on the outpost, but goodness. Third place average hero accuracy. Definitely something to watch from Team Robot Pilots.
I'm curious to see if they'll be able to eclipse our 64.6 record from Nautilus so far.
I don't know. It was a crazy record.
Yeah. It's a tall bar to beat. With the tech these teams are rolling out, I wouldn't be surprised if it
Matt,
does.
I'm gonna scroll back for 1 second. So they're using little right there by the foot. You see it? You see the belt? In front of the Sentry. I'm gonna keep replaying it. Chat, do you see it? That is a belt. Hopefully that is a belt from last match or last round, and not from a current Robot Pilot's robot.
Otherwise, you might be watching a technical timeout.
Yeah, there's definitely a split robot belt on the field, though. The referee's checking the base armor panels, making sure all of those are fully functional.
Well, that blue base has taken a decent amount of abuse pretty recently, so very fair. These armor panels are actually rated, I think, for a certain number of hits before they need to have their sensors replaced, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the panels are neat. They're force sensing panels, and based on the force of the impact, they can infer and because of there's a known velocity, right, a known speed for the different types of projectiles, they can infer the projectile size.
I think it's F equals MA or something like that.
Yeah, yep.
Base is closing up. Getting ready to see the
Oh my
best
gosh,
first,
that's quite a
first of the
scope.
best of 3.
I wonder if that fellow with that long scope was sighting in like the drone, or I mean not the drone, the dart. Excuse me. Surely they wouldn't put that scope on an actual hero. 3, 2, 1. Bring on the bots between Team Bug in the red and Robot Pilots on the blue.
Getting an airdrop for ammo at the start of the game. Interesting decision.
Yeah, it's been an interesting strat we've seen several teams utilize. Looks like Bug gonna start with a pretty traditional outpost attack with their drone. Now going for the power rune as well. They will get it. It's a good time for them to play offensively. Drone takes a second to take some shots at that blue team. Engineer. Look at those gold cubes all ready to be cashed. Robot pilots a little bit behind as far as outpost damage goes, but they haven't died during this power rune yet. And they've also are going to get an advancement on gold. As I say that, look at blue standard 4 under a lot of fire from the sentry, and 2 standards will fall to the sentry.
Robopilot's outpost melting like ice cream on a hot day to that aerial from Bug. Not able to finish the job, though. 280 health left on it.
Robot pilots working on cashing in those cubes. 270 damage dealt with that extra power rune by Bug. And there they are, able to cash both gold cubes. 1,000 gold lead for robot pilots. See if they can materialize that lead into an actual in-game advantage.
I think the sentries actually started to take out the outpost from Robopilots.
Red Engineer immediately tried to body block hero shots, was successful, and then Red Standard 3 able to chase that hero down all the way back to base and take it out. Uh-oh. Unable to get the momentum it needs to get up the ramp. It will now have to face the wrath of Blue Standard 4, Blue Standard 3, chasing it up around the base. It's going to make it up the less steep bottom side ramp.
That wrath not seeming too substantial considering Red Standard 3 was able to just have free reign in Robopilot's base.
That is a level 1 and level 2 standard for the side of Robot Pilots. 37 hero projectiles. They would like to be able to launch them, but the drone, Red Standard 4, and the Engineer for Bug are just absolutely keeping that hero out of the game. He can't fire because of the Engineer. He can't stay there because of the standard. At the same time, Bug, their hero's chilling. Sitting on a nice little pedestal all by himself. This aerial might be my MVP for Bug round 1. This is insane. They keep forcing the hero back, then they defend their own hero.
They also took out most of the outpost.
Yes.
Dart doors opening for Bug. I'm surprised. I'm excited to see if those darts are going to connect, considering their other performance on the other robots.
There we go.
There it is. 625.
Robot Pilot's doing what they need to, but a little too late. Perhaps as another dart connects.
And they do a third, and they can for 125 damage.
Oh my gosh, there it is.
Damage number doesn't matter for 500 damage. It's whenever your hero can just melt the base like that, though.
Team Bug kind of smacks Robot Pilots around, Matt.
They certainly did, and the darts doing a pretty good number on speeding up the time it took for their base to fall.
Phenomenal dart hits. Yeah, those came in at a really clutch time. The drone played really, really well. This is a team, we've talked about the auxiliary units of these teams, right? The drone, the dart, robots that can't take damage but can deal damage. When you have good
and a lot of damage
there,
at that.
Yeah, it does shift the dynamic of fights. Right, when you have a fight, it's a little bit numbers advantage. It's a little bit micro play. It's a little bit robot performance. But then you can sway that by using those auxiliary things, like the power rune that Bug got, or the 3 dart hits from Bug. Phenomenal.
Well, that power rune turns 10 damage or 5 damage into 10 damage for the aerial on the outpost, and that's literally
I think in the actual RMUC, it might just straight up be 10 now, Matt. We'll have to keep an eye next round.
Maybe, but I know as long as you get the power rune, your damage is doubled on every robot.
Yeah, you do a lot more. You also take reduced damage. They've changed how the power rune works this year, but it does aid. It does give some extra damage from those standard bots, especially.
Well, and I guess, to your point of auxiliary robots, you have the auxiliary field elements, right? Not everybody goes for the power rune. Only the people that actually have the CV code to be able to track those armor panels that are moving around on a variable speed circle. And have to be in a different order every single time. You got to have some kind of algorithm to be able to track that. Look at how fast that base melted. The dart being the MVP.
Love to see it. Totally valid.
Not something we've seen before, for sure. But, yeah, 3 dart hits connecting. One of them only doing 125 damage. I think it might have hit the lower armor panel as opposed to the one with the green light on it. That is, I believe, the one that's supposed to be hit by the dart.
Getting a cool look at that dart launcher now as the team prepares it for round 2. I wish. Oh, he's getting it. There we go. Into focus. Yeah, this is like the best dart launcher in the world. You can see all those first place tags. Average darts per round 2 is wild.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. Like our production's having a bit of a time getting it to focus. There we go. And we're on the blue engineer.
Blue Engineer wasn't really able to do too much, considering most of the time they're
I mean, they started out really
robots were
strong.
dead.
Robot Pilots had a nice gold advantage, specifically from that blue engineer going double gold cube start. But Bug played so aggressively early and was able to utilize their aerial to prevent Robot Pilots from really using their hero at all. They put like 40 projectiles in the hero, and I don't think they ever needed to reload. They never were able to fire them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that just kind of goes to ammo starve your other units, though, because they airdropped to their blue standard 3, I believe. And so that's going to be costing more gold for the same amount of projectiles you could get in the base. And it just didn't pay off. They like you said, a good defense is a strong offense. And they just didn't have an offense or really a defense to be able to defend against the very projectile rich Bug.
All right, round 2 in the best of 3 between Bug and Robot Pilots. Looks like I see all the ref flags around the arena pop up, and we should be good to go.
It's crazy to think how in just 10 years, all of these teams have been able to proliferate all these different designs and tactics and just be able to execute so well on both.
Yeah, these robots are quite remarkable, especially considering the fact that a lot of them, I mean, all of them have changed significantly in those 10 years.
Second round, best of 3. Here we go.
3, 2, 1. Bring out the bots. Robot Pilots going for that same strategy, airdropping some projectiles to blue standard 3, going for the double gold cube start.
There's just no projectiles for blue standard 4. 2 double gold.
Power Rune immediately activated for Team Bug. Starting to melt through that outpost. Check out the damage now. Red standard 3 only taking, I believe, 8 damage per hit because of that shield. And that's what I was discussing earlier. There's a defense buff associated with the Power Rune now. Also melting through the standard. Blue standard 3 absolutely obliterated. The red team utilizing that Power Rune nicely.
Aerial still has 1,000 shots left for Bug. Not wasting any time switching targets from the outpost that it just melted to shove it back the hero.
Getting a fair amount of chip damage done, and Bug's hero is able to just get started. Look at this map right now. The blue team
Summer vacation, Preston. I'm telling you, that hero has no pressure at all on him.
Blue standard 3 trying to change that, using those jointed legs to jump up onto the curb and over the ramp. Levels up, starts to do some chip damage onto the red hero, able to push that hero out of the sniper position. Good play from Robot Pilots. They need to make sure they don't overstay. Blue standard 3 now chasing red standard 4. This is a tricky spot, though. If they continue, they'll be in a pretty severe numbers disadvantage. Again, blue hero with 37 projectiles, but all of the red team is in the bottom lane. Red standard 3, red standard 4, the red engineer body blocking, the sentry even getting involved.
Not much damage coming across onto him, though. Able to get away.
But he is forced back. I mean, it was a lot of
Here
bluffing.
come the darts.
Red standard
Here
3,
come the darts, Preston.
they're doing well. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Red standard 3 and red standard 4 were actually out of projectiles during a lot of that posturing, Matt.
Oh, it's locked in. And
how you identified that the bots were not able to do a lot of damage. But again, Bug just moving so quickly through the base health, using those darts to help the hero chew through. 3 projectiles remaining.
Robo
They don't even
pilots.
need it. The aerial can finish it off, and there's no counterplay for the aerial. They're literally body blocking that lower armor panel now.
Preston, look, that dog is pulling on that leash with the aerial trying to get as close as he can to be able to shoot the base.
Oh my goodness.
That leash is taut.
60, 50, 20, 10. And there it is. Matt, it's not close, but it sure was impressive. Bug defeats Robot Pilots 2-0.
There was just nothing that Robopilots could do. Their Blue Standard 4 had no projectiles from the get-go. I do not know why they made that decision after seeing Bug be so dominant in the first round to let one of their robots go toothless for the entire first minute of the game, or at least until they got the... I mean, it was about a minute cycle time for the engineer to get all the way up to get the gold cubes and go back. You just can't leave yourself undefended like that. Not with an aerial as strong as Bug.
Yeah, the power rune play and then offensive sentry standards is a really, really cool strategy. Early game, right, you all start at the same level, so there's not really anything as a level disadvantage. As we look at some statistics here, it tells the story you already know. Robot Pilots cashed a ton of gold, but they never got the chance to use it. The red team did such a good job of applying constant pressure. We talk about tempo, we talk about timing and turns, right? Sometimes you have to give your turns. When you run out of ammunition, you have to retreat. It's the other team's turn to push, then you push them back. That was not the case. Bug was able to bridge the gaps with their auxiliary bots. When their standards retreated, their aerial pressed. Then they had darts. Then they had standards again. And it was always their turn. Look at every highlight. The red team is going to be past the halfway marker. Every single one.
Yeah, I think it's just a combined arms fight, like you're saying, Preston. Having access to all your robots to be efficient in their own regard in every possible way is so hard to beat if you don't have the same kind of thing to match it. Look at Ariel pulling on that leash. It looks like a dog out of a cartoon.
73.7% accuracy.
Yep, there it is. Top the record. Writing it down.
Only 19 projectiles fired. Those darts really coming in clutch. The aerial helping out as well. Like you're saying, a multifaceted fight, a multi-pronged attack, if you will. Really, really good looking. Matt, I think that's it for me tonight. We're gonna keep doing these every night, and then we'll stream a crap ton of them on the weekend. But we're chewing through them. We're now on match number 5. That was the first 4 matches of RMUC 2025, like the official actual bracket. The teams looked great. Do you have a favorite? Okay, you've now seen 8 teams. You got a favorite team so far?
Bug. I liked seeing it all. They had it all. They brought everything to the table, and they said, these are all the chips, and we're playing with all of our cards.
Yeah, I think they look the
best. I think Nautilus or 3DT could contest that. I think they could contest it in terms of being able to at least push back and possibly have more of an offense. But man, Bugs aerial just cracks me up with how it's just pulling on the leash too.
Matt, so what do you I agree with you 100%. Bug looks amazing. I'm interested to see what happens when you get like a Bug versus a Nautilus. In my brain, I kind of think we end up with like I don't even know. Like
you can't flip. You certainly can't flip and make a mistake. Whenever you just accidentally turn over.
Let's say both teams round 1 keep their strategies, because in round 1 you shouldn't change your strategy. You should just see how it matches up against the enemy team.
Yeah.
So they both send their standards over. They both kill the enemy team hero. Now both heroes are dead. Both standards on the opposite sides of the map. Now what? I think it's going to be really, really interesting. I think dart hits and like aerial efficiency and I think you know what I bet it is? I bet the difference maker will be gold for auto revives. I think the team that can auto revive gets to skip the tempo, right? You don't have to drive that dead hero back. You don't have to wait for the gray screen to go away. You don't have to go back to be able to fire projectiles. That's what you do. That'll be the difference maker. It's going to be a gold efficiency game, so that when both heroes die, who can auto revive and resupply ammo?
Yeah,
That's my prediction for what happens when two teams with really aggressive standards and really successful heroes fight.
but I think there's also the part where you don't even have it doesn't necessarily even have to go to the gold efficiency whenever you just don't die. I mean, I guess that could be a part of a gold efficiency, but I think if you have a strategy in terms of target selection, choosing your targets, everybody's focused on one target, that could end up being the same for both teams, and both teams end up losing a robot or two every fight, and then having the auto revive obviously would be a huge difference maker, but it seems like a lot of these robots are able to escape with just a little bit of a health whenever they actually focus on getting away instead of trying to fight back.
The heroes are, in my mind, always least likely to be able to make it out.
Yeah.
They're usually the lowest level on the team. They also are frequently fighting from a bad position because they're in that sniper position. The robots that are able to jump off the curb, which is why we see so many standards flip, is that there's a lot of incentive to come over that curb. If you come off
Yep.
the curb, you are in between the hero and the base, so they don't really have a choice. I will say the other thing that I'm interested in seeing is we've seen couple teams from the regionals that used their sentry to puppy guard their hero. So like the sentry would just sit there, and if you've got a good sentry, especially in the early game when it has a level advantage, you can use that to counterplay against this hyper aggressive early standard attack of your heroes.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's for, right? It's that level 10. That level 10 that starts out with all the projectiles loaded, don't got to buy anything. It's already set and ready to go. You just got to make it work. And I think it we didn't see that impressive of sentry performance
We
from what
sure
I could
didn't.
tell. Most of the time, it was just kind of puppy guarding the hero up on the curb, and unless you're using that, I mean, that could be the place that you want it though, because you only have 750 projectiles for the entirety of the match. That's, or I think you can go back and buy more, right?
Oh yeah, the sentries can go back, yeah, this year and
And
get more
so,
projectiles.
yeah, it's still having to autonomously route away, and there's a lot of other variables that go into having to go and buy ammo. If you could just instead say, I'm using this entry to just protect the hero sniping position, which seems to be the spot to be
Yeah.
this time around.
We'll see how it all plays out, Matt. I am excited. I think there's a lot of strategies to look at, a lot of really cool engineering innovation. This tonight we saw fly swatters.
Yep.
We saw a lot of balancing robot use, really cool unstable equilibrium stuff, right? Standing back up, going up on hind legs, jumping.
Yep.
Really neat engineering innovation on all fronts. So excited to see where it continues, guys. We will be back tomorrow night. Some pairing of two of us to watch some more matches. We'll be here all week, every night. Promise this time. Doing English matches of RMUC, and then this weekend we'll see if we can catch up. Because next week, by the end of next week, Matt, these games will all be over, and we will have a winner for RMNA 2025.
That we will, Preston. There's a lot of games to get through, and if this is just the start of it, I can't wait to see what's next.
Sounds good. Bye, guys.